So our next project is going to be drawing an emoji. And since we already have all these circles made, let's reuse them. You can see that I've got my layers here, and I don't have a layers button anymore. To get things back to the way they were, you can click on this workspace button and click reset. You'll get back things that you may be missing. Now before we actually start changing our sample graphic into an emoji, we need to save it with a new name. So with this file open, we're going to change this file, save as, and we're going to do emoji 1. So today's date 25/11/12. Once we click save, it's safe to make changes to this one without affecting our original sample graphic. You may end up having to redraw this if you don't do that. I don't need the X layer for this, so I'm going to delete it. You have to confirm when you do it that way. If you drag and drop it on there, it just goes away. Now we're going to use that largest circle for the face. So naming these layers as you go is incredibly important. We're going to be animating these drawings, so we need to make sure that the layers that we're importing into the other software say what's on the layer. If you don't do that, you end up with a lot of layers that all have basically the same name, layer, and number. It can be super hard to find the parts of the, let's say, the monster that you want to animate if you don't name the layers. So we're going to make this one the outer whites of the eye. I like to use the medical name for it, sclera. And then this is going to be the iris of the eye, the actual color of the eye. And the smallest circle, of course, is going to be the pupil. Now I'm going to combine these three to just make one eye layer. And so these names won't mean as much anymore. It's only the main layer names that we end up seeing in other programs. So there's a couple ways of grouping these together. For one thing, I'm going to change the color of the face. I'm going to use a standard yellow. It's really hard to see the details in a face if the colors are too dark. So at least for this first one, I'd like you to use a nice bright color. I'll go to my gradient panel, double click on that red, and see if I can make it turn yellow. You've also got your swatches here. You can pick a nice bright yellow. You can also use this eyedropper, the color picker. You can click on a color that's in your drawing already, and then you can make it match one of the other colors. Let's look at those layers again. F7 is the keyboard shortcut to hide and reveal the layers. And I'll just lock that face. That's one of the options you have, to just lock it, and that way anything you're doing isn't affecting it. So I need to combine these three. If I press Control A right now, since this is a very simple drawing so far, it selected everything that wasn't locked. That's one way to do it. We could also click on these targets, but of course I want to add more targets to my selection. So holding down Control is how you can add to a selection and take off if you need to. With those three selected, I'm going to right click on them and make a group out of them. And now we have one layer. It's called pupil because that's the one it went to, one on top. And now these are empty. You can see by expanding these that we've got our three circles right there, ellipses. So those names are not there anymore. But the pupil is. So this would become the eye. Let me show you another way that this can be done. So having ungrouped those, if you expand these, and of course it makes it a lot easier if you make that longer. We can actually move these ellipses from one layer to another. So I could grab this one and move it under the yellow ellipse. Take this green one and put it under there. And the same thing happened, except it's just one level here instead of having a group with those three. So being able to move things around between layers is going to be really helpful. I am going to reuse these. So I'm going to call this one, let's say, the mouth. And I'm going to need a layer for the eyebrows as well. If you double click right on the word, it changes it. If you double click somewhere else, it opens this up. All right, so we've got this. This is going to be the eye. I can collapse those, or I can use this to select. For example, that's going to be the pupil. I could name that, but it's the main ones that matter. If you're not going to animate the pupil kind of floating around on the eye, then renaming every single one of these right here doesn't do as much for us. Let me go ahead and make this one black. With it selected, there's the, well, let's see. This is my selection tool. And now you can see, well, this isn't right. It's my gradient. I double click on this, see if it'll let me turn it black. But we can just do a solid color black because it doesn't really need that gradient. But anyway, we have our pupil. Select that one. Let's double click, pick a different color. We'll do, let's say, a green colored eye. And again, lighter is usually better. And then this one, of course, double clicking. Oh no, what happened? Well, you got to be careful because your gradient can get off. And if we're using that gradient, Control Z, and be really careful to just select it this way. It's a lot easier. Now, if we're going to change the shape of the eye, it can be really hard to get that gradient to look right. So we'll change that to the other method here in just a minute.